the sterile white chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with the artificial gravity generators that kept 100 different species comfortable. Emma Chen stood at the podium, her hands trembling as she clutched the datapad containing her son's last transmission. Around her, the council representatives shifted in their varied forms: crystalline Vexstar, gaseous Furum, and the towering insectoid Krell. Honored Council, Emma's voice cracked. I demand justice for my son, James Chun, murdered in cold blood by Krell enforcers on Station Kepler 442. The Krell ambassador clicked his mandibles dismissively. The human juvenile violated quarantine protocols. Our enforcers acted within established law. Emma's fingers whitened around the datapad. He was 12 years old. He crossed a yellow line by 2 meters to retrieve his sister's toy. Your enforcers vaporized him without warning. The council's verdict came swiftly: no wrongdoing. Krell law superseded human sentiment. Emma stood frozen as the chamber emptied, the casual indifference of 1,000 worlds pressing down upon her shoulders. She didn't know that her testimony had been broadcast across every human colony. Every ship, every listening post humanity had seeded across the stars. She didn't know that in the depths of Earth's Pacific Ocean, something ancient was awakening. Admiral Marcus Webb stood on the bridge of the UESS Prometheus, watching the holographic display with grim satisfaction. Around him, his crew worked in practiced silence, their faces lit by the amber glow of tactical screens that hadn't been activated in 3 centuries. All fleet elements reporting ready. Admiral, his first officer announced. The Ancients are online? Webb nodded slowly. The Ancients, humanity's first and most terrible weapons, built during the expansion wars when humans fought themselves for control of the solar system. Ships designed not for exploration or defense, but for absolute annihilation. They'd been mothballed when humanity joined the Galactic Council, hidden in underwater vaults, in asteroid hollows. In the hearts of dead moons, the Council had demanded humanity disarm. Humanity had smiled and complied, turning over their modern fleet while keeping their ancient nightmares in reserve. After all, the Council had never specified which weapons to surrender. Send the message, Webb ordered. Across 1,000 systems, every Council species received the same transmission. Emma's testimony, James's last moments, captured on security footage. And then a new voice, calm, cold, and utterly without mercy. This is Admiral Marcus Webb of the United Earth Space Service. For 300 years, we have abided by Council law. We have been patient neighbors, grateful students, and faithful allies. Today, that ends. The hologram shifted, showing the ancient fleet. Emerging from Earth's oceans like breaching, whales kilometer-long dreadnoughts whose hulls were pitted with age but whose weapons glowed with terrible purpose. The Krell hegemony will surrender the enforcers responsible for James Chun's murder within 72 hours. They will face human justice. If this demand is not met, we will come for them. And we will remind the galaxy why humanity's ancestors looked at the stars and saw not wonder, but territory to conquer. On Station Kepler 442, Krell Commander Zarkith watched the transmission with what his species approximated as amusement. Humans threatening the hegemony? The same species that had begged for Council membership? Whose military was restricted to system defense craft and merchant protection vessels? Increase security at the station perimeter, he ordered perfunctorily. And send a message to the Council demanding they sanction Earth for this outburst. His tactical officer's antennae twitched nervously. Commander, our long-range sensors are detecting something. Multiple mass signatures emerging from the Sol system. Zarkith's amusement faded. Specifications? Unknown classification. But Commander... The officer's voice dropped to a terrified whisper. They're big. The Ancients crossed the void in ways the Council had thought impossible, their drives, bending space-time in violation of every treaty humanity had signed. They didn't need the official jump gates. They made their own. 72 hours passed. The Krell refused. The Prometheus dropped into real space above Krell Prime with a thunderclap of displaced energy. Around it, 99 other ancients materialized, forming a perfect sphere around the hegemony's homeworld. Emma stood beside Admiral Webb, her presence requested by humanity's leaders. She was the mother. She deserved to see this. Shields? Webb asked calmly. Their planetary defense grid is activating, Tactical reported. 16,000 plasma batteries, 300 orbital defense platforms, and their home fleet of approximately 800 ships. Webb smiled without humor. Fire. The ancients had been built during an era when humanity believed the universe was hostile and empty. Every weapon system was designed for one purpose: to ensure that if humanity died, it would take its enemies into the dark with it. Graviton beams tore at the fabric of reality itself, ripping the orbital platforms apart at the molecular level. Antimatter torpedoes, each carrying enough destructive potential to vaporize a continent, streaked toward the defense grid. And from the Prometheus itself, the Casimir weapon, a device that collapsed quantum vacuum energy into a directed beam of pure annihilation, the Krell shields. Built to withstand conventional weapons, lasted 17 seconds. Hold! Emma's voice cut through the bridge. Webb raised his hand and the bombardment ceased. Krell Prime's defense grid was gone, but the planet remained intact. "This is Emma Chun," she transmitted on all frequencies. "You took my son? I could take your world, but I am not you. Surrender the murderers, now." In the silence that followed, every species in the galaxy understood a fundamental truth they'd forgotten. Humanity hadn't joined the Galactic Council because they needed protection. They joined because they'd wanted peace. And peace, it turned out, was a choice humanity could unmake. The Krell surrendered the enforcers within the hour. Emma watched as they were brought aboard in restraints, their compound eyes wide with something that might have been fear. James would never grow up, never see Earth's oceans, never become the engineer he'd dreamed of being. But he would be remembered as the ancient fleet returned to Earth, slipping back into their hidden vaults. Admiral Webb stood beside Emma at the observation window. "Will this change things?" she asked quietly. Webb considered the question. "The Council thought we were weak because we chose diplomacy. Now they know we chose it because we could. That changes everything." Emma touched the cold glass, seeing her reflection superimposed over the stars. "Good," she whispered. "Let them remember. Let every species that looks at humanity remember that we bury our weapons, not because we cannot use them, but because we hope we never have to." The galaxy would indeed remember, and they would never make humanity unleash its ancient nightmares again.